The Marvelous Monster. The Marvelous Monster. Story by Carolyn Joyce. Pictures by Rod Ruth. On an afternoon, almost like any other, Geraldine went out to swing in her backyard. But when she reached her swing, she saw something that made that afternoon different from any other. A monster, a marvelous monster, was sitting in her swing, and he was singing. I love to run, I like to sing, but most of all I like to swing. Away he went, pumping with his mighty monster feet, swinging back and forth, higher than Geraldine had ever dared to swing. She could see that he was very happy. The marvelous monster was smiling from ear to ear as he sang, I like to run, I like to sing, but most of all I like to swing. His voice was rather musical, but it was growing louder and louder. Shh! Not so loud, whispered Geraldine. The singing stopped, but not the swinging. Who was that? Asked the monster. Geraldine didn't answer. Well, after all, would you admit it was you shushing a monster? So since no one answered, the monster began to sing again. I like to run, I like to sing, but most of all, I like to swing. Geraldine began to think of a way to get the monster out of her swing. She walked to her sandbox and filled her biggest bucket with sand. She poured it into her super sand flipper. Flip, 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 the sand paddles turned, throwing sand in big circles. Whee, said Geraldine loudly. Sand flipping is fun. The monster never even looked at her. Geraldine walked to her teeter-totter and sat down on one end. I would like to teeter-totter, she said, but it takes two. She looked hopefully at the monster. He was still swinging. Geraldine shinnied up a nearby tree, noisily rattling leaves and branches. Boy, this sure is a great purple bird's nest, she called. It did have some purple strings in it. But the monster didn't even look. I want to swing, thought Geraldine. The monster went on singing his song. I like to run, I like to sing, but most of all, I like to swing. Run? He likes to run, thought Geraldine. Now Geraldine was a smart girl and very good at thinking. She took off her shoe and clanged it loudly against the clothesline pole. The swinging stopped. Hi there, said the monster. I am Mason. Who are you? I'm Geraldine, said Geraldine. I'll race you to the hose for a drink, she added, smiling in a friendly way. Sure, I like to run. I'm thirsty from all that swinging, said Mason. All right, said Geraldine. I'll say 1, 2, 3, go, and then we'll race to the hose. Get a drink and race back, okay? Okay, said Mason. Geraldine didn't tell Mason that besides being a very smart girl, she was the fastest runner in the class at school. So after she yelled, 1, 2, 3, go, it was easy for her to reach the hose before Mason could get 10 steps away from the swing. Mason was so big that it was hard for him to run. It took a while for him to reach the hose, take a drink, and look back at the swing. Then he saw Geraldine. She was in the swing, pumping furiously back and forth, and she was singing, I like to run, I like to sing, but Mason, I like best to swing. Well, if you thought Mason was a loud singer, you should have heard him cry. He wailed and sobbed, tears pouring down his face until the backyard was nearly flooded. He cried louder and louder, I love to swing. Geraldine stopped pumping. Mason really did love to swing. As much as she did, she could tell. But there was just one swing, and it was hers. There was just one thing to do, she thought, being not only a very smart girl and a very fast runner, but also a very kind-hearted girl. We'll have to share. Mason, she called, come on, let's share. You get in first and I'll sit on your lap. We'll both swing, and we'll both sing together, okay? Okay, said Mason. He walked to the swing and sat down. Geraldine crawled up into his marvelous, mighty monster legs and onto his lap. Mason pushed back as far as he could with his mighty monster feet, and away they went, back and forth, and higher than Geraldine had ever swung before. And together they sang, oh, we love to run, we love to sing, but most of all, we love to swing. When Geraldine's mother looked out the window and saw Geraldine and Mason swinging so nicely together, singing so happily, what do you think she thought? Why, she thought that Geraldine was a very good girl to share her swing with her friend. Isn't that just what your mother would think? The end.